Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you to all my new subscribers, but this is a serious topic: missing and exploited migrant children. Anybody who know me know how I feel about anybody who crossed the jungle and walked through 5,000 countries to get here. I want them out. You came here illegally, you need to go back home. However, due to the last administration, we now have over 300,000 missing migrant children. And I have a heart for the children because we know that some of these children have been sex trafficked. We know some are being used as labor, servants. Some have been used in rituals. And some of these children are not here anymore. And that's just a fact because we got a lot of sick people here in the United States. We have a lot of PDF files here. A lot. And when I run these statistics, we the number one country when it comes to exploiting and children. The number one consumer of children. But this is the unaccompanied alien children update 2025. And I'm only going to do one article because I got several, because this is going to be another series. I got so many series going on because I have committed myself to only doing like an hour at a time. By definition, an unaccompanied alien child, UAC or UC, is a minor under the age of 18 who has arrived in the United States or at the border without a parent or guardian and without legal status. How did they get here? Who was sending their kid by themselves? I don't understand it. Children may also be designated as unaccompanied minor if the government pursues criminal charges against their parents or legal guardians. Unaccompanied children are among the most vulnerable individuals attempting to navigate the U.S. immigration system. I'm sorry, I got the nerve to eat a cookie. Mm. Most often, these children are encountered by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol or U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Unaccompanied children are regularly encountered by immigration officers between ports of entry, at ports of entry, or elsewhere in the United States. The Homeland Security Act of 2002 requires that unaccompanied children be transferred to the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement within the United States Department of Health and Human Services. The William Wilberforce Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act of 2008 established that the transfer to the resettlement office must occur within 72 hours. The resettlement office provides unaccompanied children with lodging and care through our 300 shelters in 27 states while they search for suitable sponsors for them. The unaccompanied children's sponsors help support and provide for them while they await their court hearings and pursue some form of relief, which can take up to 4 years or more. Wow. Wow. I didn't know it was that long. Sponsors are found for the overwhelming majority of the children, and most often the sponsors are family members, including parents that were already in the United States. Although the percentage varies, as many as three-quarters or more of the sponsors are family members. These sponsors can and do include individuals who are undocumented. Wow. As minors, they are provided access to various services, including legal representation, at least for some of them. While federal law does not guarantee a right to pay legal representation for immigrants, some federal funding has been appropriated to provide legal representation to these minors. Many studies have found legal representation is critical in order to navigate the U.S. immigration system to assure fair representation and for the success of their case before an immigration judge. This is especially true for minors. Between 2003, the shelters took over the care of the children and been collecting data on them. In 2011, fewer than 8,000 unaccompanied children were encountered each year. However, in 2012, these numbers began to increase. In 2012, over 15,000 unaccompanied children were in the care of a shelter, and the number fluctuated between 24,000 and 70,000 in 2013 and 2019, before collapsing with the onset of C-19 pandemic in 2020. The number spiked higher after pandemic. This is under the last administration, Biden-Harris, exceeding 100,000 unaccompanied children in 2021, continuing near or above that since 2024. That's a damn shame. So, 2020, okay, let's start. No, we're going to go back. 2020, 12, we had 13,625. 2013, there were about 25,000. 2014, we go up to 57,000 unaccompanied children at the border. 2015, 33,000. 2016, 59,000. 2017, 41,000. These are all children under 18. 2018, 49,000. 2019, damn, 70,000. 2020, that's when the pandemic started, 15,000. This is under Biden Harris. 2021, 122,000. Well, 123,000. 2022, 129,000. 2023, 120,000. 2024, 98,000. Wow. The homeless shelter or ORR has faced criticism for its difficulty in tracking the children after they are released to a sponsor. So once they release the children to a sponsor, they don't do no further contact. It's one phone call, that's it. Once OR finds a sponsor for an unaccompanied child and places them with a sponsor, they no longer are required to maintain contact with the child or the sponsor. Nevertheless, there are some programs and safeguards that are offered even after placement. They don't inform ICE 24 hours before placement and 24 hours after placement the name of the sponsor or the current address because there are limited requirements for the shelter to maintain contact after placement is made. There have been assertions that there are more than 300,000 unaccompanied minors that have gone missing, cannot be found, or are being exploited or even trafficked. While the current process of limited follow-up is valid basis for concerns, the reports of large number of missing children are inaccurate and overblown. These missing children are based solely on their failure to appear for their immigration court hearings or failure of ICE to issue a notice to appear. Well, if you ain't providing ICE with the information, how they supposed to see where they at? And how is a child supposed to just go to court? No, they have a court date. Come on, make that make sense. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm right here. I'm cooking a roast this late at night. Oh, this gonna be good. Oh, it's done. I just wanted to get. Oh, it's done. Oh, let me put a little water in here. I just wanted to get a little more tender. A little more tender. Matter of fact, it is done. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn it down. So how are they supposed to know? The genesis of the claim that hundreds of thousands of missing children have gone missing in August 2024, the Department of Homeland Security released management alert. ICE cannot monitor all unaccompanied migrant children released from Department of Homeland Security and the United States Department of Health and Human Services. Because no, they can't. That's not their job. I mean, really? This report indicated that ICE was not able to account for missing children that failed to appear for immigration court proceedings or were not served with a notice to appear. According to report, 32,000 unaccompanied children did not appear for court hearings between 2019 and 2023, and 291,000 who were not issued notice to appear as of May 2024, a total of 323,000 children. After August 2024 New York Post article citing referred to the children as lost or missing, the Trump campaign and various elected officials repeated the claims numerous times. So now they saying they lying. Well, they just recovered. No, they arrested 200 some predators last week. While the vast majority of the children missed court hearings or have not received notice to appear are in fact safe with sponsors. The OIG report was correct in highlighting the shortcomings in the system. The report into considerable detail identifying many of these shortcomings, including ICE failure to use automated processes to share information, such as failure to appear. Okay, in March, in February and March 2025, the Trump administration took significant steps that threatened legal representation for children and indicated that they and their sponsors face new risks of arrest and deportation, as they should. On February 18th, the U.S. Department of the Interior, which administers federal contracts, issued a directive ordering federally funded organizations to stop providing legal representation for the children. 3 days later, on February 21st, the department reversed course and told the organizations they could resume providing legal representation services to the children. The reversal followed negative headlines for the administration as well as advocacy of the organizations providing legal representation, including a letter writing campaign that generated over 15,000 letters to Congress. However, even after reversing itself on legal representation halt, the Trump administration took significant steps indicating that the children and their sponsors would be targets for deportation. On February 23rd, ICE issued a memo directing agency personnel to conduct nationwide search for unaccompanied minors for deportation purposes. The memo indicated it would be placing children in three categories: flight risk, public safety, and border security, with a special focus on those identified as flight risk. The memo highlighted the children were to be issued deportation orders after missing court appearances or those with non blood relative sponsors. Although failing to attend court appearances or the lack of family ties may be factors indicating flight risk in an adult criminal justice context, it is questionable whether they are relevant for minor children who are dependent on a sponsor to help them with appearing for immigration court hearing. Mm. The memo expands fingerprinting requirements for background checks purposes to all adult household members. Absolutely. Absolutely. It also expands the Trump administration access to the database on missing children and their sponsors because a proportion of the UAC sponsors are themselves undocumented. Increased enforcement efforts around the unaccompanied children and their sponsors are likely to discourage some potential sponsors from coming forward, especially non blood relatives and the undocumented. This is a shame. Prior to the release of the memo, the sponsors were already required to go through a background check, which includes fingerprinting, and were required to complete a sponsor assessment process. Existing requirements also include a home study for some prospective sponsors when the child has been a victim of trafficking, is disabled, or meets other. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. So the memo requires vetting for all adult members of the sponsor household and the use of DNA testing. Exactly, to see is that really your child or kin, right? On March 21st, 2025, a near total termination of legal services for the UAC was issued by the Trump administration, an effort to stopping legal representation for unaccompanied children trying to navigate our judiciary system without a parent or guardian. While there is concerted effort to have the funding for the program reinstated, the outcome on this ongoing dispute is uncertain as Trump administration takes additional steps to significantly limit legal services for unaccompanied children. On March 25th, the office reversed a 2024 Biden rule that prevented um, the homeless shelter from releasing immigration information about sponsors of unaccompanied minors to any law enforcement or immigration enforcement entity at any time. Under this rule, it is now possible for the shelters to provide such information to law and immigration enforcement entities. Right, so how are they supposed to find the children? They don't have the information. How are they supposed to issue notice to appear to court? On April 1st, a U.S. District Court judge issued a temporary restraining order on Trump, terminating legal representation for unaccompanied minors and ordered funding for such representation be restored. Conclusion: improving monitoring of the children after being placed with sponsors and strengthening the vetting of potential sponsors are both worthwhile goals with many positive benefits, including providing additional security to aid at risk minors. You think? However, recent actions by ICE increasing immigration enforcement efforts against certain children and their sponsors and potentially limiting the UAC sponsor pool to blood relatives come with clear downsides. Mm. While reforms are needed to ensure the safety of the children, the February ICE enforcement memo, not to mention the Department of Interior memo and the March 21st memo, halting legal representation of the children as well as the Homeless Interim Final Rule on providing immigration information to the minors, sponsors to immigration enforcement entities pose a serious risk to unaccompanied minor children. Wow, that is as of 2025. We have 323. This is going to be a series too. So we're going to get off into this and what I got. Hmm. Show a few video. Oh, starting with this statistics. Oh, shit. Here we go. This is the statistics. What's going on is insane. You ready? Listen to the numbers. Okay. Australia, an estimated 20,000 children are missing every year. Canada, 45,000. Germany, 100,000. India, 96,000. Jamaica, just under 2,000. Russia, 45,000. Spain, 20,000. United Kingdom, 112,000. United States, 460,000 children are missing a year. Just under a million children missing yearly. Wake the fuck up, people. Something real bad going on here. Fact check yourself at globalmissingkids.org. This is the statistics. What's going on is... Wow. Almost 500 children go missing each year in the United States. Turn that down. Danye, turn that down. Now, this is migrant children working full time.
I don't care how many people watch this video, whether people want to watch this video now, whether YouTube cuts this video or not. I have to talk about
yeah,
this.
let me get there.
New York City, we have, right, deceased, deleted. And this is what the Biden-Harris administration has brought to the United States of America, and we need to talk about this because this is what the people have voted for. They don't even know they voted for.
This is
like
LEV Nation. I love him. These are children working on the streets of New York City, migrant children.
Bro, just look at this. Look at this.
¿Y de qué país?
De Colombia.
De Colombia. ¿Y cuántos años tienes tú? ¿Y cuántos meses en Estados Unidos?
Un mes.
Un mes.
Sí, claro, y para estudiar, para conseguir un futuro. Porque es que allá en Colombia tuvo un caso muy malo que pasó con mi papá y mi hermano.
¿De los años de los niños que andan acá?
De 8, de 11, de 14.
Trabajando acá afuera.
Que se han robado y entonces tenemos que cuidar, pasar el día. A una señora la robaron y robaron al niño y no
Look at this. So he's saying that they've come here to work at 11, 8, 14 years old. And he says that there have been robbery, so we have to be careful.
Han robado y entonces tenemos que cuidar, pasar el día.
Because a lady got robbed and they took her kid.
Wow.
They took her kid. This is what this child is saying.
Wow.
And the guy, he's like, they robbed the kid. They said right here in Times Square. Now, this is Times Square. Like, this is Times Square. This is like this is where all the tourists go.
Facts.
Like, this is where all the tourists go. This is like the most out loud part of New York City. Like, this is where all the cops are at. This is where all the tourists go. And there is something deep and dark happening in that area. They took him in a van. In a van. How is this happening in New York City, bro?
Right.
This is a kid telling you this.
Right.
They just took one kid. Says the mom was screaming. I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy that stuff like this is happening in my backyard.
¿Cuántos años?
10 años, 10.
10 años. ¿Y qué país tú?
Ecuador.
¿De un albergue o con tu familia?
Vine de un albergue con mi mamá y mi papá.
¿Qué pasa aquí en Times Square, Nueva York? ¿Qué pasó?
Vendiendo agua. 40, 30.
¿Cuántos días de la semana trabajas?
Viernes.
Bro, these kids are literally working full time. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Like, this kid is working a full-time job at 10 years old. 10 years old. He's working a whole-blown job. Like, this is illegal. Like, this is crazy. And we don't even know who he's working for. We don't know where the money's going. So it's like we don't even know half of these children, who they're connected to, where they're staying, if they're being abused or not, because there's no way to figure that out.
Sábado sábado y domingo.
3 days a week.
Y lunes.
4 días.
Sí, por.
¿Cuántas horas al día?
Vengo a las 4 y acabo a las 2 de la mañana.
Bro, he comes in at 4 p.m. to work. He comes in at 4 p.m. and he finishes at 2 a.m.
Wow.
That's a crazy shift.
Wow.
Y acabo a las 2 de la mañana.
Hey, tú pasas la selva de Arién, ¿sí?
Y yo pasé la selva del Ariel.
En la selva tú encontrar cadáveres,
Que
¿sí? ¿Cuánto?
no sé, pero sí había muchos cadáveres. Muchos. En las carpas, en los árboles, todo eso había muertos y cadáveres.
Que robaban a niños.
Sí,
Can you tell us a story?
sí, se ahogaban.
Los niños,
Sí,
¿qué viste con otros niños?
otros niños veían que se ahogaban, que no aparecían, se perdían en la selva.
Wow. He just said, I saw other children drowning in the river trying to get here. This is
Sí,
shameful.
sin madres, con papás, a veces.
¿Que viven en la calle?
Sí,
¿A dónde?
por aquí pasan todo eso.
Niños con no casa.
Sí,
Wow. So he's saying that there's a lot. He's saying that he saw a lot through the Darien, which I've spoken to Oscar Ed Blue about, where he talks about that the Democrats are hiding the truth of how migrants are even getting over here from Central America, South America, and he says he saw a lot of bodies, he saw a lot of crazy things, and then also
Yes, he did.
Children in New York City, a lot of homeless children in New York City.
¿Sí?
otros niños viven en hotel, otros niños viven en la calle. Nosotros sabemos ver.
¿Puedes decir para dónde ir a verlo?
La verdad no sé, solo saben pasar pidiendo todo eso.
¿Que te quieres regresar a Ecuador?
Sí,
¿Por qué?
es que
He wants to go back to Ecuador. Good for him. He knows that that they're tricking people into coming here.
aquí, para mí es muy feo, cuesta muy caro, todo, no dejan vender, los policías nos mandan y queremos un puesto estable para vender, que no nos moleste, nada más.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. I want to kind of read this. This is an investigator from Mug Cracker. I think that's the name.
Wow.
So unaccompanied children in the last century.
Now this, come on, StreamYard. Come on. Now this is back in September. It was 85,000. Now it's in 23,000.
Hey, what company you guys with? Where are you guys taking this kid? Where's your kid here? Sir, is your kid? You know, these kids are kind of going places and everything.
This is
No? You won't tell me? No. Okay. Why are you being so secretive?
Don't worry about it, sir. Can you stop bothering me?
Why are you hiding your name badge? Why are you so ashamed of these kids? This is the public facing place. I've already talked to the police. Hey, we're gonna stay. Oh, hey, don't get my face. You're getting my space. Okay, sir. How you guys doing? Just a second. This is a public place. Why are you guys being so secretive? Who are the kids in the car? Every month, thousands of foreign children are trafficked into the United States via the U.S.-Mexico border. They are detained by Border Patrol, held in top-secret compounds, and delivered into the hands of human traffickers by government contractors, some of whom are CIA-affiliated. A sophisticated network of traffickers and
CIA affiliated. There it is. There it is. There it is. Hmm. They being sex trafficked. Lord have mercy.
Are using the United States federal government as part of the logistical chain of their child trafficking operation. All of this is openly acknowledged by the Department of Homeland Security and Congress. Since 2021, 85,000 migrant children have gone missing, never to be heard from again. Others have been subjected to involuntary servitude, debt bondage, commercial sex trafficking, and possibly forced organ harvesting. This video will show how the United States federal government is facilitating the largest child trafficking ring in the world. The trafficking operation starts thousands of miles away, in the remote regions of Central and South America. Some children are lured to the United States by digital and radio advertisements, promising a better life in America. Other children are sold to human traffickers by their own parents, and some are kidnapped off the streets in their home country.
Wow.
Before entering the United States, human traffickers mark children like cattle. Children are tagged with wristbands like these to indicate that they are clear to enter the United States. Often, adults can be seen carrying children across the border who are incapacitated. This is an indicator that the child has no relation to the adult carrying them, and could mean that the child has been kidnapped. Border Patrol does nothing when they see this. They simply book the adult and the child in as if all is normal. Some of these children are part of recycling rings. They are used as pawns in order to get single adults into the United States under the disguise of a family unit. According to a Florida grand jury report, in February 2019, Belkin Idenia Martinez Parada, a Honduran mother of 4, agreed to a scheme to rent 3 of her 4 children, ages 6 months to 12 years, to 3 different Honduran men so they could pass through the Texas border as families. After apprehension, children are held in top secret compounds run by private government contractors in conjunction with the locations across the state of Texas. Include El Paso, Pecos, Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs, and many more across the Rio Grande Valley. These compounds are highly secure and resemble concentration camps. This compound, in Pecos, Texas, is double fenced with guard towers and floodlights. Why is this level of security needed for a compound that only holds children? Other compounds have been established in former shopping centers. Southwest Key Programs, an NGO that shelters illegal alien children and escorts them to their sponsors, holds children in repurposed Walmart centers.
Wow.
Southwest Key Programs, commonly referred to simply as Southwest Key, is an NGO with a checkered past. In 2018, Southwest Key employee Fernando Magaz Negrete was charged with child molestation after sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl at a Southwest Key facility.
Wow.
In 2019, a Southwest Key employee was sentenced to 19 years in prison for sexually abusing children and exposing them to HIV.
Wow.
Children are held in these compounds. The Office of Refugee Resettlement, also known as ORR, works to establish contact with the sponsor of each child. Under the Biden administration, ORR has eased sponsor vetting procedures in order to expedite the child processing pipeline. On March 31st, 2021, ORR issued Field Guidance number 11, ending the background check requirement for Category 2 sponsors, the type of sponsor for almost 50%
Ending the background check. So how many PDF files got these children? Man.
of children. It is known to federal and state governments, as well as ORR case managers, that many of the so-called sponsors are in fact human traffickers. In a 2016 congressional report, it was admitted that children are brought into the United States by human trafficking rings, and that the United States is a source, transit, and destination country for men, women, transgender individuals, and children. both U.S. citizens and foreign nationals, subjected to sex trafficking and forced labor. In a report published on September 6, 2023, by the Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General, it was admitted that DHS may unknowingly release migrants, including children, to potentially unsafe conditions or smuggling operations. Finally, in a report filed by a Florida grand jury in March 2023, it was found that an employee of ORR was fired for reporting a case of suspected human trafficking of over 100 unaccompanied alien children shipped off to a single house in Texas to a government hotline because her ORR superiors refused to investigate the matter. Once ORR has vetted a sponsor, children are escorted by government contractors from holding facilities into the hands of their sponsor somewhere in the United States. A couple of the contractors involved in this step include Southwest Key and MVM. MVM is a private security contractor founded by 3 former Secret Service agents. The company has been granted $369.5 million in order to provide staffing and resources necessary to arrange travel and escort for unaccompanied children in ORR custody. After 9/11, MVM was contracted by the NSA and the CIA to provide armed security in Iraq.
NSA and CIA?
In 2018, MVM won a contract to conduct research for the FBI's High-Value Detainee Interrogation Group, a program implemented to conduct overseas interrogations of terrorists. This same company is now conducting a domestic child escorting operation. Every morning at McAllen International Airport, white vans drop off masked children with masked agents who escort them through the airport onto an airplane and into the hands of their sponsor. As you watch the following footage, ask yourself these questions. Why are the children and escorting agents wearing masks? Why do the escorts hide their name badges when they realize they are being filmed? And why do some of the children seem terrified to speak? Also keep in mind that in April of 2023, a former Southwest Key employee was arrested for sexual contact with unaccompanied minors aboard an airplane. This is what the escorting process looks like. Hey, is this Southwest Key?
No.
Who are you guys with? MVM? No? Who are you guys with? Hey, ¿cuántos años?
Hola, amable. Derecho.
Why are you guys being so secretive? You know these kids are kind of going places and never heard from again, right?
No.
Are you with me, sir? Can I ask what company you're with?
No.
No? You won't tell me?
No.
Okay. Why are you being so secretive?
Don't worry about it, sir. Can you stop bothering me? Don't take a picture of me. You're not authorized to go. I should take pictures of me.
This is a public place. Hey, what company you guys with? Where are you guys taking this kid? Is this your kid here? Sir, is this your kid? Hey, ¿cuántos años? It's okay. It's okay. Amigo. ¿Cuántos años? ¿Qué país?
Wow.
Hey, are these your kids? No? Hey, are these your kids, sir? Everything okay, sir? No, it's like, I talked to the police. This is a public place, and Texas is a one-party consent state. I've already talked to the police here at length. Thank you very much. Just so you're aware, I'm more concerned with you. Why are you hiding your name badge? Why are you so ashamed of what you're doing with these kids?
You don't have my permission to be taking any pictures.
This is a public-facing place. I've already talked to the police. These are little kids. How old are they? Sorry, sir. Hey, are you going to check this kid if you drop them off with their sponsor and make sure that they are actually safe? Do you care that much about them? Are you going to make sure that they're not being trafficked across the country? Or you're not going to do that, are you? You could tell us their names, so this way maybe we could check up on them. Would you do that much? No, you don't want to do that. Could you tell us what company you're with? Maybe we can take it up with your supervisor. I don't do that either. Could you look me in the eyes at least? No, you can't. Okay. What about you?
Sir, all I can say is there's no comment.
Listen, I'm not trying to harass you. I'm just saying a lot of these kids could very well get trafficked across the country, and you know that. You know that. So I'm asking, could I know where they're going? Could I know where they're going?
No.
Is this your kid here? Is this your kid? Amigo. Hold on. Where are you taking this kid to?
Oh,
Ma'am, is this your child? Why won't you talk to me? Sir, can I ask who you work with? Sir, if I'm going to be reporting on this, you might as well just be transparent. This doesn't good. How you guys doing? Yes, I can. This is a public place.
Yeah, but like, who are you?
Texas is a one-party consent state.
No, I'm asking who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who are you? Like, you're recording us.
Yes, sir.
Who are you?
Yes, sir. Well, these children don't belong to you, do they? Why are you guys being so secretive? Who are the kids in the car? Hey, where you guys flying to today? Hey, where you guys flying to?
Hi, what's your name?
Don't get in my
No,
face,
you're
sir.
getting in my space, sir.
You're getting in my space.
You're getting in my space. I need you to back down.
Okay, I'm right here.
All right, can you back down over there?
You're stepping towards me, sir.
I need you to have some space, okay?
Which company do you work for, sir?
you can't
My
see
name's
the
Carlos,
thing.
last name Mariano. I used to work for MBM Inc. My job was to take kids from point A, basically take kids from point A to point B. The job of an MBM employee is to come and grab these kids, take them on an airplane, and take them to a sponsor who is supposed to be a family member, but most of the time it's not.
Did you ever drop a kid off with a sponsor and you could tell that there was something not right with the sponsor, like maybe he was on drugs or he just something just seemed off?
All the time. We would get people who were drunk, people who were high on weed, people who were high on other things. The sponsors themselves would tell you shit like, yeah, man, I did a line before coming here. I gotta go out and party again, but you guys got me here picking up this damn kid. Shit like that.
You heard that firsthand?
Yeah, you hear that all the time.
After delivery
Wow.
to a sponsor, ORR conducts a 30-day wellness check. This consists of placing a phone call to the sponsor 30 days after the initial handoff to verbally confirm the state of the child. Since 2021, 85,000, or about 1/3 of these phone calls have gone unanswered. There is no police report filed, no new cases opened with Child Protective Services, and the address of the sponsor is not flagged as suspicious. The child simply becomes another statistic. The open border policies of the Biden administration continue to provide an endless stream of children for human traffickers to exploit. Until the U.S.-Mexico border is secure, many more thousands of children will fall victim to the federal child trafficking pipeline. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support our operation, you can make...
Man, and they do a lot. Let me see what they got new here. Oh, he got a lot. Let me take a picture of this. If this ain't the saddest shit of what they have allowed to happen to these children, it's a special place in hell. Let me play this last one. Oh, shit. Here we go.
Good Friday evening and welcome. We begin tonight with that joint investigation by Scripps News and the Center for Public Integrity. It involves thousands of migrant children who might have disappeared from the system altogether. It is a troubling finding when you consider record numbers of migrants continue to pour across the U.S.-Mexico border. Many are children and many of them are alone. The Biden administration puts them in homes with sponsors, but then what happens next? Our investigation found thousands of those children are now disappearing from those sponsor homes. Our Scripps News investigative correspondent Patrick Terpstra joins us tonight. And Patrick, there are also concerns the federal government isn't doing enough to track them down.
That's right, Dylan. To really zero in on this, we picked Culpeper, Virginia. It's a town with a very large Guatemalan population and a lot of sponsors who have taken in migrant children, only to see so many of them disappear. These are the faces of migrant runaways. Children who came across the southern border alone were placed by the U.S. government with an adult sponsor and then vanished. Kids like 15-year-old Yenny, who was last spotted with a black backpack getting into a white pickup truck. No one will say where she went. Selena was just 16 when she ran away from her sponsor's home weeks ago. Cesar, also 16, left his uncle's home one day and never returned. Each of these children disappeared from the small town of Culpeper, Virginia, about a 2-hour drive from Washington, D.C.
This is all my missing kids right here.
These files are pretty thick. It's Culpeper Police Detective Norma McGuckin's job to try to find them, and she says her cases all seem to unfold the same way.
The sponsor will take him in, or her, and then within 30 days tops, a couple days sometimes, and then the child just picks up and leaves.
You called this a crisis?
We have 21 missing still
That's a crisis.
on a small town,
Yeah.
a very small town.
Every chance she gets, McGuckin drives through these neighborhood streets looking for any sign of the missing kids. Pretty much all these neighborhoods, you can point to a house where
Yes,
an unaccompanied minor has run away.
yes, on this side back here.
Since she became a detective here in 2018, she's managed to find 15 of them, but more keep running away every year. Could the sponsors be doing more to keep the kids safe in their homes?
I don't know that there's much that they can do. Basically, they are told by the parent back home that's not what they went there for. You know, they didn't go there to go to school. They went there to work.
Wow.
1 million unaccompanied minors have come into this country since 2018. And over 6,000 of them have reportedly run away from their sponsor homes.
They're somebody's children. I always worry that they may be in trouble somewhere, being taken advantage of. That's my worry.
She told us she's especially worried about Orlandina Lopez Perez.
She came into the country pregnant.
She was 16 when she vanished. This case is unique in that you have a baby missing as well as a minor.
Correct.
There's paperwork for her when she was still pregnant.
We obtained this body camera video of the moment police arrived at the home of her sponsor. The woman tells police she came back from work one day and realized Orlandina was gone, along with her 4-month-old baby boy. We wanted to know if the sponsor had heard anything from Orlandina in the months since, so we tracked her down at her home. She agreed to talk to us on her porch. Where is Orlandina today?
La verdad no sé.
Are you worried about her?
Sí, porque yo no sabía dónde está. Ojalá que sí, ella sí está bien. So, nobody...
It's the kind of dead end Detective McGuckin is used to. Finding any of these children is a process riddled with hurdles. But we were surprised when she said the biggest obstacle is the U.S. government and its Office of Refugee Resettlement, which is responsible for looking after these kids until they're placed with a sponsor. When you call that office, what happens?
Sometimes it depends on who I get on the phone, but most times I don't get much.
What do they say about why they won't give you this information to help you track down these missing kids?
They're just not allowed.
The agency keeps case files for every unaccompanied child that enters this country, including photos, birth certificates, and addresses for other family members. It's invaluable information McGuckin says she could be using to find these kids. Dozens of police reports we obtained document her interactions with this agency. In one case, a government social worker tells
it didn't go through. Well, here, you're the only one here. I'm going to put my number here, write it down, and I'm about to delete it. Let me see. I'm just going to put it together like that. Let me make sure let me know you got it so I can delete this. All right, now let me delete. All right, cool.
Tells her it was against their policies to share a photo of a missing 14-year-old, even though the detective stressed without one, it was like looking for a ghost. No one from the Office of Refugee Resettlement was permitted to speak to Scripps News, so we sat down with Robert Carey. He led the office during the Obama administration. Is this office standing in the way of finding missing children? No, absolutely not. Carey says
That's
the
a
office
lie.
will share information about migrant children with police like McGuckin, but only if it was requested in writing. But if an officer calls and says, I've got a missing child, I think the child could be in danger, can I get a photo? Can I get family contact information? Why not just give that officer that information? What's to prevent you or me from calling and saying, I need a photograph of a child. I need their background information. But these are missing kids. These are missing children. Right. And their vulnerability and their safety is paramount. You have to determine it's not a trafficker. It's not someone looking to exploit a child. And that requires some degree of verification. Even though verification takes time. Yes, it does, but you do not want to put a child in more danger than they would otherwise be.
That is bullshit. You let them you let these children walk across the border with no parent. You place them with a sponsor that is not vetted, who you don't know if it's a PDF file or anything like that. But when a police officer call to get information because she's investigating we have 323,000 missing children, and I'm sure most of them are sex trafficked. I mean, it's some bullshit.
A few months after Scripps News and the Center for Public Integrity began asking questions, we noticed the Office of Refugee Resettlement published a policy detailing how police can lawfully obtain personal information about migrant children. Was this office taking this issue seriously if it was really only until August 2023 that they actually published how local law enforcement could get vital information about runaway children? There were communications with local law enforcement in many instances. It wasn't publicly posted on a website. That doesn't mean it didn't exist. We found out that the office's national call center received nearly 7,000 calls reporting a child missing. What do you think when you hear that number? It's concerning. It's absolutely concerning. And I think it requires, further investigation. Do you worry about these kids? Constantly, yes. I think these children.
And why are these children running away from the sponsor that the CIA, because CIA, Homeland Security, this is of course under the Biden-Harris administration, placed them in? Well, ain't nobody asking the question, why are they running away?
Particularly vulnerable. They're not arriving with parents or guardians. It's all about protecting the safety of children. For Detective McGuckin, those efforts to protect the safety of Culpepper's missing children have for too long been getting in the way of her work to try to find them. This is frustrating for you. It is. Why?
Because it's making my job harder. I'm doing everything I can possibly, but I can only go so far with the information I'm given.
She told us she'll never give up on these kids, but knows the chances of finding them decrease with every passing day. And Dell, it can sometimes be hard to really inject a sense of urgency about finding these kids because we're talking about, for the most part, teenagers, and it's not like they've been abducted. Most of the time, in fact, these sponsors know, while they can't say where the kids have gone, they suspect that the kids have run away on their own in order to find money. Dell.
I know Culpepper well, though. That is a lot of missing kids. Patrick, this
information seems to be very frustrating for Detective McGuckin, who was on the ground trying to find these children. Does she have other ways to get information about them? Well, she does, and we should say that since people questions about this, she had an easier time getting things from the federal government. If it's not the Health and Human Services Department, sometimes she will go to Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. If that doesn't work, though, where do teenagers spend a lot of their time? Online, social media. So she will look around there to see what she can find. What have they been posted? Where have they been? That sort of thing. But there is nothing like getting that information, a photo, contact information for other family. That is something that the federal government has and that she could really use that she oftentimes just can't get. And Patrick, what do we know about the children who do run away? Well, a lot of them are looking to work. It is a difficult thing because the sponsors, when they take a child, they pledge to keep the kid in school and to go to immigration proceedings. But the kid has come here a lot of times in order to pay off a debt, perhaps to a smuggler that's helped them cross the border, or they want to send money back to families at home. And the only way they sometimes see that they can do that is to actually run away, because if they stay with the sponsor, then they will have to go to school, and it can be illegal for them to work an actual legal job until they're in the country as a documented immigrant. Del, very tough. Our investigative correspondent, Patrick First tonight. As always, we thank you very much.
This gonna be a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good night. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Thank you, and I appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe, hit that like button, please. And I'm gonna be posting all week, because you know what, Money Low, we supposed to do 3 videos a day to stay in the algorithm. But shoot, I already work 2 jobs and I'm tired and I gotta get up and go to work. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all, and thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. You know, Money Low, it's a 4-hour difference between us. It is 2 a.m. here. So I guess, shoot, it's about 11. No, shoot, it's about 10 something where you at. All right. So just know that when you call me, it's a 4-hour difference. All right. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. See